Okay, it's Colin Jennings from Jeeping.Net. Today we're going to be installing this MORryde tire carrier. It's a lot different than other tire carriers in the market. It actually is a full hinge replacement and reinforcement package for your tailgate on a TJ and LJ. They do make this for the JK, but it's a slightly different install and whole process, so I won't be covering that here. I have ran the TerraFlex in the past for the JK and did enjoy that. So there's really two big options when you have TJs and you have larger tires. You can go with these body mount tire carriers, or you can go with the bumper mount. I've ran the bumper mount in the past. They're cool. They can hold a lot more weight, but it's kind of annoying having to open that up and then open your tailgate up, so especially when it's all muddy. This is just one hand open and close. Really nice when I have kids getting, thins in and out, changing diapers in the back of here. It's a really nice option to have. So what this kit is, and I'll go into this in a little bit more, but it's a full replacement of hinges. There's some brackets inside, brackets on the outside, and it actually does raise the tire up a little bit and out. So you actually use the factory tire mount, but it is hugely improved. So anyway, we're going to go look at this in a little bit more detail, and at the end, I'll give you guys my full review. Thanks a lot. So here are the kit. It actually comes in one single box, but it comes with your hinges in a box within it, and then your actual supporting bracket separately. Oddly enough, there's no instructions actually for the bracket part. There was some instructions here for the hinge, but I'll be able to look up those instructions online, but that's a little weird. It is nice to see that the hardware all looks very good, and they actually include some anti-seize, which is really nice to see. So we have our bracket that goes in the tailgate, our hinges. This bracket actually is going to go in the body. This is the support bracket that goes in and attaches to the inside of the body, attaches to the actual roll bar. And then these two brackets are actually used to raise tire mount if I want to. I think I will. And these are actually used to actually give a bit more space in to the stock balances. And that will make sure that your bumper is firm against the body. So let's jump into it and install it. It's going to be a pretty quick, easy install, hopefully. So let's see. Okay, we've now got about half of the installation done. So you start by installing the back half here of the roll bar support. So you undo that top bolt there, and then you just kind of place it in place here, and just lightly tighten everything up. Then what you want to do is put this back bracket on and the hinges, and then again, just put the bolts through and loosely tighten everything up. You're going to tighten everything up afterwards. Now, a little side note, some of you guys might run into this. I have corner guards on. So I had already pre-made some plates to fill in my little gap here. You can kind of see I have a little plate there behind that. But what I ran into was the plate that actually comes with this tailgate hinge was running into some of the button bolts. So I actually relocated a couple of them over to the side a little bit. This bolt right here was originally actually right underneath where the gate was. I moved that one, and the two that are right here next to the tail light that are now covered, I put kind of flat heads on those ones. So just a few little modifications like you always do when you do several modifications at once. And the other thing I've got done so far is we have our kind of support panel on top of the tailgate right now. So yeah, anyway, we're going to get this back on the Jeep here, which is our next step, and then we'll be back here in a second. Okay, so we got the tailgate on. Quite a struggle by yourself. As you can see, I actually ended up using like a little woodworking vise here with a couple of 2x4s to get it up kind of level, and then just kind of working it back and forth and using an electric socket to kind of run the bolts in. I was eventually able to get it done. I took a lot longer to struggle on this than I expected to, but those are just hand tight now on. So what I want to do now is I want to grab the tire carrier, this factory one, bolt it up. I'll be back here in a second. Okay, we got the tire mounted up here now, and the factory mount on there. Again, I'm going to be replacing this one. I'm missing a stud. It's actually in pretty rough shape. That's starting to delaminate from the metal a little bit. But the next thing we got to do is we got to take these bumpers that are normally on the factory, put them back on and measure how much more we need to add to them. They've included some spacers that you can just add onto the back of here and some bolts. What you want to do is you want to get these so they're pretty snug against the tire. So when you bolt down the tire, it's rushed up against these, and that's going to take all the wiggle out of the tire. Right now there's quite a bit of wiggle. I only have 2 bolts on, not 3, but this will drastically reduce that. So we'll be back in a second and I'll show you what I do. Okay, so that install actually went pretty smooth. Really only ran into a couple little problems, some of them I knew about from people talking with them. The one I had ran into, which I knew I would, is some issues with my corner guards. Anytime you have modifications already done to your vehicle and you get another modification, those two modifications can conflict. And obviously, the instructions are not going to tell you how to get around that. So I should note, when I was trying to find this, it was out of stock from the place I was going to order from. And I called up my local RV dealership and they were actually able to order this in for me. I ended up not doing that. I did end up ordering from my normal off-road shop, but it is a little option for those of you guys that are, have no RV shops in your areas, might not have an off-road shop. RV shops also carry this because the MORryde is actually also an RV company. So anyway, the other issue that I ran into was around these snubbers in the back. I'd seen people say that they don't line up right, and two of mine are lined up right. One is off a little bit, and the one on this side is way off. Now, I did off-center the tire a little bit, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some hockey pucks and kind of make my own. Okay, let's hold right there. So what I actually did was I actually came back and improved the snubbers. So what I did is I took one of the spout snubbers, put a few washer behind it. There's actually a hole right there in the hinge, and I was able to bolt through there and get it. On the other side, I actually had some extra snubbers, and I was actually able to pick them back to back and put them through there. That's actually two snubbers in one, and that actually seemed to be the perfect size for my size. Here, the tire is loosely attached. You can see it's not bolted down. The tire is up against all of the snubbers, so that's exactly what you want it. Here they are. Everything's torqued down, and they're firmly against the snubbers. There's no wiggle on the tires now whatsoever. Anyway, I'm really impressed with this. As you can see, opening and closing this is super simple now. But yeah, anyway, thanks a lot. If you have any questions, ask away. I obviously haven't had much time to use this. I just finished installing this 5 seconds ago, pretty much. And it's getting real late, and I've lost my beer somewhere. So anyway, I'm going to go grab my beer and have a good night. Anyway, thanks a lot.